KENS 5 Eyewitness News at 10 starts now.
If you have a loss of life, that is a true indication that something did go wrong. We want to understand why. We don't want these things to happen again.
9 months after the death of San Antonio firefighter Scott Deem, we now know what went wrong.
Chief Hood calls the events of that night last year a perfect storm from which his firefighters simply could not recover. Good evening, I'm Jeff Brady.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. A new report on how the firefighters handled the strip mall inferno shows some major mistakes, which the chief himself calls painful but important.
It's critical that we share these findings with the citizens. We wanted to make sure that there was nothing left out.
Chief Hood said the findings of a peer review by the Houston Fire Department are painful, not only because San Antonio firefighters are reliving the night they lost one of their own, but also because of the mistakes made that led to his death. The first happened when firefighters arrived on the scene.
When they opened those doors, there was dark, heavy smoke coming out. So once that happened, chances of anybody surviving is going to be very slim.
Firefighters should have realized no one could be alive and should not have gone into the building. But they treated the fire at the Northwest Strip Center like they would a small residential one.
A residential mindset in a commercial fire can cause problems. And so that was one of the things that was identified in this report. They went in without a hose line, and they went in without a tag line. A tag line would be like a rescue line.
In the large commercial space filled with smoke, the firefighters had no line to find their way out. They also found improper ventilation.
Once the back door was open, there was a choke point. We didn't take in consideration the factors of weather early on into the incident. We had wind gusts up to 24 miles an hour, which made that ventilation ineffective for us.
Another cause for death, the firefighters were sent in to search for victims, but Brad Phipps did not follow the assignment. In firefighter terms, he freelanced.
One of those firefighters went away from the task of searching and went in and pulled ceiling. But when you pull ceiling down, sometimes it can cause a catastrophic event because I'm dropping the fire down on me. And so that's kind of what happened in this situation. Nobody on this fire ground is a villain. No one should be demonized on this fire department. The villain is sitting in jail.
Well, the official report comes out tomorrow, and Chief Hood told me he wants to make that report public and transparent, which is why he sat down with us today.
And Deborah, you told me earlier that Chief Hood first shared the results of this report with Brad Phipps and Scott Deem's widow.
Yes, he did that yesterday. And the firefighters have already started taking action to correct several of these issues, and they plan to take future action, including repurposing an old warehouse to train firefighters to fight commercial fires, and they're going to name it after Scott Deem.
Very appropriate. Yeah. Thank you, Deborah. Well, as the chief said, the man accused of sparking the Ingram Square fire is still in the Bexar County Jail tonight. This man, Edmund Johnson, is charged with murder and 4 counts of arson. Johnson owned a gym in that shopping center. An arrest warrant says he intentionally set it on fire as a desperate attempt to get out of his lease. His bond is set at $1.6 million. Enough is enough. That's what community members are saying tonight just west of downtown, where a stray bullet killed an innocent child over the weekend. Friends, classmates, and neighbors held candles and prayed outside the home of Angel Guevara. The 14-year-old was shot and killed while inside his home after a gunfight broke out in his neighborhood. Now parents and even children in the community fear for their own safety, but they're demanding change.
Now we need to really come together, do a better job of coming together, not just with the community, but with law enforcement, with politicians who actually care.
Now, SABD has arrested 3 men in connection with that shooting. The suspects claimed they fired into the home because they felt threatened during an argument.
A Bexar County deputy is recovering from stab wounds he suffered during a call overnight. The sheriff's office has identified the deputy as Xerxes Tuttle, a 15-year veteran. He was investigating a domestic violence call on the city's far north side where he found two men fighting. One of the men had a knife and stabbed the deputy in the neck and head. The suspect now faces a charge of attempted capital murder on a peace officer. Another Bexar County deputy is facing fraud and theft charges. Adelaida Adams was arrested at the Adult Detention Center this afternoon. She's accused of abusing the Medicaid program and SNAP benefits program. Adams had been with the Bexar County Sheriff's Department since 2003 and was assigned at the county annex. She's been placed on administrative leave while the sheriff's office investigates.
Delicious dining, but without the meat? Well, it might seem strange.
Especially in San Antonio. The meatless dishes that look and taste just like the real thing. Have you tried any, Joe?
Well, we've got an update on DeJounte Murray. He was hurt last night, remember, in that ball game? The latest for him, that is coming up. And, boy, a lot happening in the world of sports. The UTSA Roadrunners, they get their man. We'll tell you all about it.
THURS